entertain.
Maybe they'll warm up if they introduce themselves here.
Okay.
So let's do a quick go around.
Just start right here.
I'm Angie.
Hi.
All right, let me put you on the spot.
Well, it's easy for the first person because everyone else knows that it's coming.
Yeah, there you go.
So Angie, where are you in the program? Why did you select the program?
I'm in the LPCC program.
Okay.
And I don't know, about halfway, I think.
Okay. Cool.
And I was in the forensic psychology program at RDC.
Okay.
And I wanted to get a license.
Okay. Sweet.
I'm Sarah. I'm in the LPCC track, and this is like my fifth to last class.
Okay.
So almost done. And then I kind of chose it because I really like psychology and everything like that. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
I'm Taryn, LPCC. I think I'm about same as you, 5 classes left. I heard really good things about Adler and new students who came here, and so I came to an open house, and I've loved it ever since.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, McCumbee, and I'm in the LPCC program. I think last time you told me I was in the LMFT program. My job, while I'm waiting to study and take that test and do the 2 years supervision, my current employer says if you get the LPCC, we can increase your salary, we could bill for you and stuff. I'm back.
Yeah, I'd be back too.
Sweet. Yeah.
So just so you know, Coach and I know each other from actually it's been almost more than almost 10 years that we've been running in these elliptical circles, and so it's funny that we meet here at Adler, and then we've met at some other places, and then our spheres kind of cross over. So good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Mindy. I'm finishing now my first full term here at Adler. Yay. I think of myself as on the career development track, but I'm planning to take the classes to get the LPCC.
Okay.
The career development stuff is what I'm actually excited about.
All right. Cool.
I'm Victoria. I'm on the LPCC track. Let's see, I have about one more core class after this. And I mean, I just enjoy counseling in general, and then also training.
Okay. Training.
Like, well, I kind of talked about like a vision, basically like my current place of employment. Like eventually when I get licensed, I want to kind of, in a sense, make a name for myself. I work in group home settings, and you know, direct support staff, they don't necessarily have a lot of training when it comes to like mental health and things like that. So, you know, whatever I can do to like really like help train staff so that they can more effectively provide treatment for the clients in the group home settings. So.
Okay. Sweet. Thank you. Yes.
Hi, I'm Donna. On the LPCC track, I have 3 classes left after this one, so I'm heading towards graduation. I'm already in LADC, and that was not enough as far as trying to help the clients, so that's why I went on for further education.
All right. Cool. Yes, sir.
I'm Sani, majoring in LPC, and look at the title here, looks like going to be deciding a top topic for me.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
I'm Lori. Right now it's probably going to be the LPC track. I currently have a practice of my own in spiritual wellness and somatic experiencing healing trauma. But I wanted the mental health component to that as well, integrating all 3. Love Adler very much. I started out at Pacifica in Santa Barbara first, and then transferred here last March, a year ago.
Oh, sweet. And then you've come to a number of the lectures on Saturday, so you do look familiar. So, and unfortunately, I'm the same person. So if you've ever been to any of those lectures, you may hear some of the same stories and jokes and that kind of stuff. So I call it consistency, and you know, some of my clients are like, "Well, you said that last time." Well, I'm the same person. So there's that. So a little bit about me and how I kind of come to stand before you. in my high school days, well, we'll start here. We won't go back to, conception, but we'll go quite a ways back. So when I was in middle school, junior high, I'm not sure what people call it in whatever school districts you're in, but around that age, that 12, 13-year-old age, I became, I guess I'll go back to conception. So my parents obviously grew up in the 60s. They were born in the 50s, grew up in the 60s, and the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King really had a huge impact on my parents, as it did most Americans, but more specifically because my parents are black. And I hope that did not come to as a surprise. Yes, I'm black.
I'm surprised.
Or But having experienced the traumatic time of the 60s, my parents decided that they wanted to do something about that murder. And so my dad joined the Black Panthers. And I don't know if you know what the Black Panthers were about, but primarily they were a political party whose primary objective was to raise people out of poverty, and specifically black people out of poverty. They also understood that they had the right to bear arms, and so that makes folks dangerous when they know their rights. And so what we also know about revolutions and revolutionaries is that there is not a good retirement plan for revolutionaries. Revolutionaries typically are either assassinated or oppressed until they cry uncle. Fortunately, my father didn't have to go through all of that, but he did come to a point where he had a conversation with God. And in that conversation, God said, I want you to become a minister of my word. And so my father became a preacher. And so in my growing up, I've always had this mix of the spiritual connectedness that we all share, as well as the social justice aspect to how that spirituality should play out. And so being birthed in that kind of environment has lended itself very well for building the kind of person that I am, as well as making sure that in all of the philosophies that I've learned, all the things that I've done throughout my life, that those two things are present in everything that I've done. And so in terms of career, I worked at a group home, at a residential treatment center in Ohio. At the same time I was doing that, I was working at youth leadership camps in the summertime. And there came a point in my life where I had a friend from those camps, because I started those camps when I was, middle school age, high school age. And I had a friend who worked at Procter & Gamble, and he was a big wig at Procter & Gamble, and he said to me, I can give you an internship, and in this internship you'll have a nice salary, we'll give you a car, you'll have a territory, and all this kind of stuff. And I said, oh, that's great, that's wonderful. I said, but can I go to camp in the summertime? And he looked at me and he was like, no. And so I was like, well, I can't take this job because I have to, So, when you're young, you make really dumb decisions, a lot of it probably based on your heart and that kind of stuff. He went on later to be the European vice president of all Procter & Gamble products in Europe, which now I kind of go, oh. But when you follow your heart, there are certain concessions you end up making. And so through those camp experiences, through my volunteer experiences, I came to be a high school teacher here in St. Paul at a small charter school in the Frogtown neighborhood. Actually, it's Midway, so sometimes it's easier to say Frogtown because people know. But Frogtown, Midway area. I taught there for 8 years, taught junior high and high school there. Went on, left there, taught at some proprietary colleges, which is a whole different kind of animal. Worked there for a while, and then I went to government. And so I became the affirmative action officer for Anoka County and I did that for 7 years. And just recently retired myself and started my own practice. And so now I am a trainer, and I specialize in government and nonprofits as opposed to for-profit entities. And it just took me up until this year, and actually it's probably been about 60 days, that I finally figured out what differentiates my work from corporate work, or why I have not been successful in dealing with the corporate world. And one of the things that has really helped me shape my practice is recognizing who I am and why I do what I do, and that social consciousness, both in practice and in theory, in terms of transforming the heart, doesn't play well when you're talking about the bottom line. And so for-profit entities, talking about the transformative power of information or relationships doesn't translate well into how do we get profits up. And so I find myself not doing a lot of that, but working with police and fire and social workers and judges and attorneys and street maintenance folks. Those things are important because we all do those things out of a sense of service. We certainly get paid for doing those things, but it is the nature of giving service back to the community that becomes a pivotal part in those particular arenas. I would imagine that in the future I'll be able to do more things with corporations as the climate shifts a little bit. But at this point in time, I don't find myself doing a lot of stuff with big corporate clients. I do some one-on-one work when there is a need for transformation, so around sexual harassment. So when people are acting poorly in the workplace, corporations typically call me and we work folks through a process. On rare